So, another mail time. And I can tell from the distinct lack of packaging that this is a bit of a gamble. It's a gamble for me for taking the chance in buying this on eBay, and it's a gamble for the seller, although he or she doesn't know it yet, because if it's damaged as a result of, shall we say, an unorthodox packaging methods, there's a gamble for them as well, because I'm gonna return it. But we will see. We will see. Do I think the seller is lucky or not? Well, I have every confidence in good fortune. So we're going to find out. I'm just cutting it on this side because the address is on the other side. Quite often I just stick a piece of paper over the top so that I can show you both sides. But in this particular case, it doesn't really matter. So this is how it was. This is how it was sent. And I'm just going to check to see what the packaging consists of. And I don't know whether you can see that, but the packaging, well, let's just cut it out because it is just the most extraordinary thing. And I'm not trying to get at the seller here, because they, it is common, but this is probably, I would say, the worst packaging for a filofax I have ever come across. So I think it's important to, to document this. So this is the packaging, and as you can see, there's no padding, there's no protection, there's nothing at all other than the outer package, the outer envelope. So let's have a look. So this particular one is, if you can see this, so it is a filofax mini executive in deluxe leather, and it is very, very similar to my filofax Guildford extra slim, which is also made of what is described as deluxe leather. So let's just compare the two. The actual leather feels it is different, but it is very, very similar. But let's have a look at this. So first of all, most important thing for me, at any rate, is flatability. Flatability is excellent, and the most important thing, I guess, the second most important thing, particularly since the packaging was so poor, is whether there's any damage to the rings. And I'm actually just looking at it from this angle as well to see whether they've been bent over. I don't normally look at that, but this is just an extraordinarily poor packaging. Well, I think, well, there is a little bit. There's just a little bit of deformity. To be honest, I don't know whether or not that deformity is as a result of any crushing, but I'm not going to return this. I think we're okay, and even though the seller will never know how close they came to a pointless exercise, i.e., to list it, to photograph it, to describe it, to do all the administration, and then, I won't say pack it and post it. They haven't packed it, have they? They've just posted it. But they don't know how close they came to a return, but purely by a miracle, and this was actually sent via Royal Mail. So kudos to Royal Mail for not damaging the parcel. By some pure miracle, it's arrived undamaged. So there we go. Now, I'm not really going to review this because that would be that's going to be for another day, I think. But I would say that, and I was well aware of this with the photographs. The seller described it well, and I could see from the photographs that the this particular it's called a mini executive, is suffering from exactly the same problem as I'm suffering with my my Guildford Mini Extra Slim. Same sort of leather, same sort of problem, in as much as, if you can see this, the leather is in places. Can you see there? It is so thin that it's just rubbed away. There is no leather left. I can feel just by rubbing. If I rub this here, now this is a good example. So can you see? Let me focus on that. Now, if I'm just rubbing this, I don't know whether you can see, but just rubbing my finger on the inside of the filofax, the actual leather is just coming off. It is just falling apart. It's just coming off the substrate. And I'm not rubbing with my finger too hard, very, very gently, and the leather is just coming off in chunks. Let me just go up here and rub a bit more, very, very gently, and it is what it is. But I'll go up a little bit more because it is just a when you see this for the first time, it's a shocking thing. But I've come across this on several filofaxes made out of what's described as deluxe leather, and this particular deluxe leather isn't really luxurious at all. I'll just wipe it away. But if you can, some gentle rubbing and this leather, very, very thin leather layer, which is bonded onto a man-made substrate, is just falling off in bits and pieces. And you can see, hopefully here, yes you can, bits and loads of bits of leather. Well, it's just, let me not breathe it in. I'm just going to have to get the vacuum onto the carpet here. But, well, my nose is twitching already. But I didn't buy this filofax to sell on. I bought it. I bought it because I was curious about the state of the leather inside. So, I bought it so you don't have to. So yes. Now, what am I going to do with this? Well, this is very, very similar, as you can see, to my Guildford Mini Extra Slim. But if you see, I love the Guildford Mini Extra Slim because it is the smallest, as far as I'm aware, the smallest filofax that has ever been made. And you can see that in terms of the width, it's much narrower in terms of the width than effectively the equivalent executive model. And if we compare the two this way, if I just put this, well, let me just put it here so you can see it more clearly. There's a little bit of height. There's a height differential of maybe, I'd say 5 millimeters. 5 millimeters less that way, and a little bit more than that. Maybe as much as a centimetre in terms of. It doesn't look like a centimetre, but it probably is about a centimetre. So, a little bit bigger, than the Guildford Mini Extra Slim, which is my favourite one. But nevertheless, this is I haven't had one of these executive models. This is the first for me. I'm not a fan of pen loops, as you know. Interestingly, the pen loop is on this side, the left-hand side, rather than the more typical right-hand side. But I will probably, because this is going to be, I only bought it to check it out, really. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I strongly suspect that pen loop is going to be, I'm going to remove that and use this in some way, because it has good quality of construction, feels good, but it suffers from exactly the same problem as my Guildford Mini Extra Slim, and indeed my personal sized Guildford, which the leather on that was so bad, it was just unbelievably bad with a capital B. This is a minor problem. The problem on my Guildford's slimline in personal size was it was just ridiculous. So I'll leave it there. The rings, they work fine, and we're all right. We're actually okay. So a nice thing. Obviously not everybody's cup of tea, because the leather is just appalling, isn't it? But only on the inside. And I think when I remove this leather, as I probably will with this, I haven't removed it with the my Guildford Mini Extra Slim yet. It's not quite as bad. When you rub it, the leather isn't quite as, it's coming off, but it's not quite as bad. But yeah, so a bit of a rant. I didn't mean it to be a rant, because this is really just a mail time, but nevertheless, we are where we are, and I'll leave it for there, and until next time. Okay, so if you liked my video, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I've got some links to Patreon and my eBay page in the description below. But until next time, thank you very much for watching once again, and goodbye.